gentlemen, boys and girls.
Welcome to the Sound of Music.
Our school percussion band have just brought us a medley reminding us that the sound of music is here.
Joining us tonight as we celebrate the 125th anniversary with this wonderful musical, a wonderful people who have been our school partners and friends supporting us in many ways throughout the years.
Indeed, we have come a long way since March 3rd, 1888, when 6 girls took their first steps in learning and developing their true potential. And tonight, we embrace and celebrate God with us for 125 years.
Joining us are our alumni, parents, teachers, guests from Guangzhou No. 7 Middle School and Pooi Middle School, Macau.
The Sound of Music is a special birthday present for the school. We have altogether 4 shows over the past 2 days. In the 2 afternoon shows, 28 schools joined us to share the love and music. Last night, we had a family night, and tonight, in this VIP show, people who are very important to us have come from everywhere to share the joy.
We are gathered here tonight to express our love and support for this 125-year-old school. Let's honor Pooi with our school song. Please turn to your house program, page 1. Please stand.
恭請各位起立，唱校歌。Thank you. Please be seated. Tonight is a special night. This particular show is sponsored by our Parent-Teacher Association, who has been sponsoring our annual Arts Gala. We would like to call upon the chairperson of the PTA, Mr. Sam Lee, to say a few words.
現恭請香港培道中學家長教師會會長李榮森先生致辭。
晚安各位來賓，歡迎大家嚟臨欣賞香港培道中學125週年校慶音樂劇《仙樂飄飄處處聞》The Sound of Music。本校一向注重全人教育，全人教育嘅意思並非只關乎學科，仲有藝術、德育同埋靈命嘅成長。透過今晚歌劇匯演，不單止可以實踐全人教育，其實由籌備至到排練，學校家教會都上下一心，完全實踐咗家校合一嘅精神。本校家教會亦都鼎力支持。The Sound of Music 相信係一出長青嘅電影。內裏邊嘅名曲首首都家傳戶曉，相信大家都聽過嘅一定。咁藉着今晚，等我哋本校嘅師生將呢一套名劇搬上舞台，為大家演出，希望大家細心欣賞。多謝大家。
To see that Pooi parents support all-round education for their children.
And all-round education has always been the goal of education in Hong Kong.
I think our guest of honor tonight will agree.
It's a great honor for us this evening to have the presence of the Permanent Secretary for Education, HKSAR, Mrs. Cherry Che Ling Kit Ching, JP. We now invite Mrs. Che to address the audience. Mrs. Che, please.
Good evening, Supervisor Mr. Eddie Ho, Principal Mrs. Zhang, teachers, parents, students, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to be standing here to share with you what my heart dictates me to say. As people who know me knows that I will never prepare a script. I never prepare a script. Because I think my colleagues already have a very busy time, and I don't want to take precious time out of the schedule. And if I'm to read a script, it doesn't sound personal. But my colleagues will prepare for me brief notes of a school. And then I look at the notes of the school, and I pay special attention to the news about that school. And then think what I want to say to the audience. Well, I have told the principal that I have one thing to say which I don't know whether it would embarrass her or whether it will please her. Originally, I thought of a description for her. One of the most charming principals in Hong Kong. But when I read the notes prepared by my colleagues, I found out that they actually used an adjective which I've never seen them using upon other principals. And that adjective is a superb flair and professionalism. Why I want to share this with you? Because I think it echoes very well with the theme of what I'm going to share with you today. It's tradition, continuity, and transcendence. The principal, as I understand, also received her education in Hong Kong, right? Mm-hmm. And I have been given to understand not from Pooi. Is it from Pooi? No. But irrespective. And I'm sure that the founders of Pooi Middle School could not have studied in Pooi, right? So when you tell somebody that I'm from Pooi, you have to remember that this year is the 125th anniversary. What does it mean? You have to imagine that you are in a stream of tradition. You don't represent just yourself. People will see you as the ambassador of Pooi. Just like people from outside Hong Kong will see you as the ambassador of Hong Kong. So, from the principle, we all understand that there are lots of success stories about Hong Kong's education. So don't belittle our achievements. We have done very well. If we have not done so well, when times were even much worse than today, how could our system have produced a principal such as Ms. Zhang? And apart from Ms. Zhang, I know that a lot of the teachers in Pooi, including your NET teacher, are all very dedicated, experienced, and professional. Similarly, I would like students who have enjoyed the warm embrace of Pooi today will remember their times in school and remember that they are members of a long tradition, and they should endeavor their best to let this tradition continue. Only then would you find meaning in life. Why I say so? Like the principal, I'm also a fan of drama and musical. There's a script in a famous play whose playwright is, I think it's Thomas Becket. It's called Waiting for Godot, a very famous play. There's a line that says, "Birth astride of a grave." Every day we live with uncertainties. But there's one thing very certain about us. We are all going to die one day. So by the time we were born, we know that next to our cradle is a grave. It's only the distance, right? So if our life's ultimate destination is death, would it mean that our life has no meaning? Of course not. It depends on how we make use of our life to do something which, on our deathbed, we will look back with no regret. And that is transcendence. How transcendence can be achieved? How can we achieve transcendence? It's through using our finite life to achieve something much bigger than ourselves, that you can through it reach infinity. And I think with education we can do this. Had the founders of Pooi not have the courage, not have the stamina to establish a school like this, we would not have one of the most distinguished schools in Hong Kong. Of course, I'm not saying that everyone should be a teacher or everyone should be a net. I'm not saying so. Actually, we can all achieve transcendence in our own little ways. Well, even as parents, when you treat your children well, when you are a good role model for your children, I'm sure that your children will bear some elements of your life, of your moral teaching, in the way they lead their life in the future, in the way they parent their own children in future. So that is transcendence. So when we help somebody who is in need, and that person, touched by our compassion, stands ready to extend compassion to another human being, we are transcending. We are extending to tradition of humankind's superb, I would say, niche or virtue, is moral righteousness. We're extending that tradition, we continue with it, and we achieve transcendence. We make meaning out of our own life. And so apart from enjoying the very good music, the nice singing of our students, I would also like our students to read carefully the words. Because in this musical, there are lots of songs which talk about transcendence, the moral values behind. For example, climb every mountain, how you embrace difficulty, and work for a brighter future. Well, 16 going to 17, tell parents, be tolerant. We have been young, we have done things which our parents asked us not to do, but we still want to do it. So remember, even though your child has been in your womb for 10 months, they are separate individuals. Stay as their friends forever, and be tolerant towards them. And of course, other songs like Wondrous Thing, I know the words, but I can't remember the name. It's about the song they sing when there's thunderstorm. My favorite things, yes, my favorite things. Try to take joy in every small creature. Life is full of beauty. Appreciate what we have. So lots of things. And sort of to end this speech, I'd like to share with you one little piece of joke. How many of you in the audience have actually visited the house of Captain Von Trapp in Austria? I have, okay? And the tour guide said that. Do you know that the mountain behind the house, which the characters in the movie climb, do you know what that way leads to? In the movie, it says that when they climb over the mountain, it's Switzerland. But in reality, it is Germany. Of course. Why? Because that place is very scenic. So they take the scenic place, they take the mountain. But of course, what we see in the movie may not bear resemblance to the reality. So, what does it mean? Why do I want to share this with you? It's because life sometimes are full of paradoxes. There are things which we can take at face value. There are things which we cannot, because people may say the thing which you pick up differently. And so what I want to say is that sometimes we have to let go. And sometimes we have to bear in mind that people hold different opinions from us, not because they hate us, but because their experience is different from ours. So embrace diversity in life. Embrace the paradoxes. Sometimes it's a paradox which makes our life interesting. And last, I would like to sort of witness a future musical by the school, because upon walking down to the hall, I noticed that I talked with the principal and was told that actually she and I had another musical which we like even better. And that's called Fiddler on the Roof. And that was a musical more or less at the same time as Sound of Music. It's about the treatment of the Jews in Tsarist Russia. So I won't talk much about that musical, but I challenge the students to read about the script, the songs, and you find that it is a musical which is very worth knowing and learning. Last but not least, I look forward to the musical, and I wish you all a very happy, enjoyable evening and a very happy time in Puto. Thank you.
Words touch hearts, and so does music. The Sound of Music is a popular musical which is based on a true story set in war-torn Austria during the Second World War. It is also a tale which epitomizes our school motto: love, integrity, purity, and perseverance.
Ngôi, sing, sing, ngài.
And reflects the great challenges the school has faced in its development over the past 125 years.
The musical you are going to watch is an adaptation of the original. The production involves nearly 200 students. Maria is played by Du Hee-wai from scenes 1 to 6. Then Pan Yu from scenes 7 to 13. Before we begin, we would like to remind you all that we are here to listen to the sound of music, but not to the sound of mobile phones. So please switch them off or change to silent mode so that we can all enjoy the show.
Without further ado, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we present to you the Pooi 125 adaptation of The Sound of Music.
By day in
was the voice of the lonely goat herd, lay-o-lay-o-loo. Folks in town was quite remote, herd, lay-o-lay-o-lay-hoo. Lusty clear in the goat herd's throat, herd, lay-o-lay-o-loo. Oh, ho, lady-o-the-lee-o, oh, ho, lady-o-the-lay, oh, ho, lady-o-the-lee-o, lady-o-the-lee-o-lay. A prince on a bridge of a castle moat, herd, lay-o-lay-o-lay-hoo. Men on a road with a load to tote, herd, lay-o-lay-o-loo. Men in the midst of a table, don't hurt, lay-o-lay-o-lay-hoo. Men drinking beer with a flum of float, hurt, lay-o-lay-o-loo. Oh, ho, lady-o-the-lee-o, oh, ho, lady-o-the-lay, oh, ho, lady-o-the-lee-o, lady-o-the-lee-o-lay. One little girl in a pale pink coat, hurt, lay-o-lay-o-lay-hoo. She ordered back to the lonely goat, hurt, lay-o-lay-o-loo.
Maria!
Sister Sophia, do you think that Maria's naughty?
Oh, yes!
I think we should be pleased with our efforts. Out of 28 candidates, 16 or 17 are ready to enter the end. Now, let's consider the duffel once again. There's Ermigus.
Reverend Mother, there is no doubt about Ermigus. The religious life is no place